A very good evening to all of you, and hope all of you are doing fine. Well, in this pandemic, all of us do have our ups and downs, and how we handle them is where emotional intelligence come into play. So today, a beautiful topic has been picked up by Mindler, and which says emotional intelligence with power of sound. Yes, the most important aspect of life is about vibrations and emotions. When these two concepts come together, I guess life becomes beautiful. There are various aspects to emotions which we hold. And today I'm going to talk about few of those emotions which has been held into our beingness, that is in our mind, body, and spirit, and has been making us work in those areas of our lives which are not very, very smooth. For example, exams. Also, it leads to understanding how we approach life in difficult times. There are thousands of emotions in various combinations and permutations. And today I will specifically pick up anxiety, fear, doubt, and very important, the faith and trust. When we are looking at life from a new aspect, because all of us are new to COVID, we do not know what holds good. We don't know what's happening and what will happen. With so much of uncertainty, it is but natural. So we are not only one, the whole of this world is going through this. And as students who are preparing for the exams, as adolescents, where there is a lot of changes happening within the body, I'm talking about the biological aspects, there is so much of uncertainty with regards to the self-identity and also to the environment. So I would say definitely not a very comfortable time for all of us. But we need to remember we are not only ones, the whole world is going through this. Emotional intelligence is exactly working on how to handle life. How to handle life in all situations. It's not about handling only the negative aspects. Even the positive aspects of life needs to be handled. As I mentioned, there are thousands of emotions which we as humans experience every moment. It is like breath. Every inhalation, every exhalation, there is an experience created. And that experience helps us to have a mindset. The mindset to allow us to progress or regress. Again, this is a choice which the mind makes. What is happening in the mind which allows us to make the choices? Choices are based on our past experiences, on our beliefs, our perspectives, our values, our understanding about life, and the conditioning around us from the environment, which could be the family, the society, the community, the nation. We all have our own boundaries, our own rules which have been laid out. So when we talk about emotions, this also needs to be worked upon to be flowed out into the community, into our beingness, into our society, into our nation, because the more we talk about emotions and handling them, the more is the awareness, the self-awareness we need to bring within ourselves. So coming to understanding emotions, there are huge lot of aspects to emotions. Like I mentioned, thousands of combinations. So there are huge lot of aspects. The first thing comes is self-awareness, how aware we are about our emotion. Let me give an example. If you are in a hurry and at the last minute, you have to reach a place, what is the emotion you will be holding on through the journey? What is that emotion you will be with when you enter that place where you have to be reaching? What will your emotion be when you interact with the people whom you're meeting? And finally, what will be the outcome? So this is one scenario. On the other hand, how would it be if you have planned yourself well, if you have reached the place well before time, if you have been able to prepare well in time with regards to what you are going to speak or talk or convey to the people you are meeting, and what will be the outcome? Now, these two scenarios, the only concept which was different is emotions. And the driving force behind this emotion is how you managed your time. So self-awareness is very important. What would be if I did this? A very important concept or aspect a person needs to ask oneself. If you're able to answer these two questions and get a clarity with regards to what you want to do, I guess the stress levels would reduce, your self-awareness would enhance, and you will be able to reach in that particular zone, which is called as success. The same applies to exams. Is it the last minute that you are planning to study? Is it that you have timed yourself in such a way that at the last end, you will be doing a rush through study? And then what do you think will be your state? Will it be a peaceful, smooth state, or will it be one which is stressful, like the scenario one? So on a regular basis, ask the two questions, and you will be able to know where does your self-awareness quotient lies. Second important aspect is accept. We are all with positives and negatives, and that's perfect. No human being is perfect. Nature is perfect the way it is with its imperfections. We are perfect the way we are with all our imperfections. So where is the thought or the concept of looking at perfection? Don't try to be perfect. Try to be disciplined. When we are disciplined and when we accept our positives and the negatives, we are able to hone our skills and lead by competency. We all have our own strengths. So why not focus on the strength so that the strengths will be able to uplift our weaknesses? That is balancing our positives and the negatives. When we are able to do this, then next aspect is the action. Whether we are able to take the right actions, because if you're self-aware, if you are very much with your self-acceptance, then I guess action is not difficult. You have laid the foundation and you only need to take action then. So if you are studying and you are aware that this is what I need to be doing more to achieve the target which I have for myself, and if I know what are my positives and my negatives, that is, which are the subjects which needs more of my attention and which are the subjects which are very much clear in my head, then you will be able to channelize your energies, channelize your time, and work towards the target which you have. The last is action. Again, action is your study time, how much you will be working towards it. Now, when I talk about awareness, acceptance, and action, the 3 A's, you can note it down in your book, big and wide on a paper, keep it on your wall so you know, you are reminded that these are the 3 A's which you need to be following. When we are with these 3 A's, we are more emotionally structured. We are not working in a haphazard manner. We are not working in a very fragmented space. We are more structured. We are clear with the outcome. We are clear with what we have right now, and we are clear with where we need to take action to make it reach the goal. So every student who is studying, every human being working on any project, have these 3 A's in mind. And before taking any action, ask yourself, is this going to take me to my final goal? Is it going to define my path to reach the final goal? Is it an energy booster? Is it motivating me? Or is it a leaking bucket which is leaking out my energies? So when we are able to figure out exactly what's happening, the pathway becomes smooth. It becomes easier. Same as you driving a car on a rough road or on the express highway. If you know that you're having your car driven on a rough path, you have to be ready for a longer period of time to reach your destination. If you have a smooth road, an expressway, you know that you can take up the speed and you will be reaching your destination quickly. So why not opt for the smooth road by following the 3 A's? The next aspect, again, which I would like to bring to all your notice is, need to understand what is my environment. Often we are fighting with the environment, that you are in a different zone, the environment is in a different zone, so there's always a conflict. So instead of focusing on the negatives of the environment, which is not in control, see, everything cannot be in our control. There are certain aspects which are within our control, which we can work upon, which can channelize, and which we can build up. The external factors which are not in our control should not take away our energies, should not eat away our time, the precious time. Because what is uncertain, that's it. And what holds good for others will hold good for us as well. But if we are ready, that is, our circle of influence within us is ready, the external circle of influence will automatically be radiated and we will find the change there. To find the change, very important, we should have been in that changed mode. We should have been very, very strong with our foundations. Now, the circle of influence, it is just imagine one small circle and another big circle. So the small circle is inside the big circle. Small circle is you, your identity, your values, your beliefs, and your confidence with awareness, acceptance, and your action in place. So what do you think is going to happen to the external circle? The external circle is with all the different aspects which you cannot control. But if you are strong enough, then definitely you will radiate your energies to those external factors. Make yourself more adaptably intelligent. Just like emotional intelligence, we have adaptability intelligence. So you will become more adaptable intelligent. And when you're adaptable intelligent, you will use your resourcefulness, your ability to see the strengths which you have grown upon and use that to make you fit in that uncertain environment. So there is no point looking at the external environment without working on our internal environment. Work on your emotional intelligence and you will be able to look at your external part, that is the environment. Coming to this aspect, often students are very fearful during the exams. They would have studied throughout the year, but this emotion of fear is something which pulls down the energy. Now, first ask the fear, communicate with your fear. What is it? What is the fear? Is it a fear which is a real fear, or is it a fear which is just created by the mind called as factory? The mind is a factory which keeps churning out number of thoughts, 60,000 thoughts in a day, and 90% of these thoughts are negative. So if you are going to focus on those negative thoughts, which is 90%, a huge chunk, if you're going to focus on those negative thoughts, believe me, we become a person who is very pessimistic because we are allowing that emotion to rule our lives. And when a person is emotionally intelligent, they take charge of their life and they harness that emotion to make it their positive rather than being a negative. Because what we focus on expands. So you be resourceful, be aware of every thought. Every thought, because 90% is negative. So if a thought comes over, do not try to confront. Allow it to be. Communicate with that thought. Okay, I'm fearful. I accept I'm fearful. Now let me take action about it. What is it in me which is making me fearful? Is it an experience of the past? Is it something which I've heard from other people? Is it something which I have seen? What is it? Because it is found that 99.3% of the time, people look from the external references. And those external references creates emotions within us. So always communicate. Is this fear mine? How did it develop? Is it useful? What help does it do to me? And how can I harness it? Often, it is not that the negative thoughts are not useful. Even they are useful. I'll be talking about it later. It is just that we need to be aware about what this negative emotion is. Oh God, I have so much to study. How will I do? This how will I do makes your brain think that there is a shortage of time. So it has to race. So the fear sets in that there is no time. On the other hand, if you tell yourself, I have got these many days to study, and these are the aspects which I already know, and these are the aspects which I need to be focusing on. And this is how I will schedule myself. And this is how the outcome will be. When you start visualizing your outcome as well, do you think your mind will have any role to play with regards to that negativity which it was holding on to, where it was focusing? On the other hand, if you keep focusing on, oh my God, how will I do it? I guess you're losing out time because the mental faculties are so stressed, they will not be able to absorb what you're studying. Secondly, physically, you'll be drained out. And thirdly, even if you study, you will not be able to recollect when you are writing your exams. So what is the point? Where did it serve you? Always ask your question. Any emotion coming up, how is it going to serve me? Where did it come from? Is it having any relevance in my life? If you have these concepts clear in your mind, you start becoming resourceful, because all the resources available to you will start getting churned out. The best version of yourself will start coming up, and you will be able to handle the situation, however challenging. Remember, it is not just a thought in the air that nothing is impossible. It is something which has been proven that everything is possible, because the brain is so resourceful, positive and negative. So this resourcefulness, if we look at it from a positive aspect, we become limitless. To become limitless, yes, the only thing is look at your own self and question every thought which comes to you. Ask the why, the what, and the how. If you're able to ask these three questions, I guess most of the problems are solved in life. It could be with regards to your communication. Very important. Now, the next aspect about emotional intelligence is able to communicate with yourself with awareness. Now, often people do not communicate with themselves or use words loosely, which says like, I'm fearful, I'm scared, I'm shocked, I'm sad. Now, these words, before the world hears it, your mind is already hearing it. And the subconscious mind is already embedding it into your brain, engraving it into your subconscious mind. So the next time you are in a state of fear, it will come up showing the reflection, yes, fear is you. That means your identity and that emotion, they get merged together. And breaking that is pretty difficult, because I said earlier, every breath we take in is an emotion by itself getting embedded into our subconscious mind, because we are constantly looking, and they go into our cellular level. Each cell of our body holds the memory of 32 GB. So you can imagine what memory we are having. Our eyes can only see a few things, but our subconscious is aware about everything around us. Our focus could be on one thing, but our subconscious mind is aware about everything. So we have to bring in our focus, narrow down, and make our subconscious very aware to where we want to focus on. So self-awareness, acceptance, action. And after that was the first block. The second one is about communication. What are you communicating to yourself on a regular basis? Who are the people you are talking to, and what are the words they are using? Are they motivating you, or are they instilling fear, sadness, or taking you backtrack into a zone where your past, not so good times are revived? So be aware of the people you hang out with, the people you communicate with. Look out for inspiration in the form of various other modes and also within yourself. The third aspect, very important with emotional intelligence, is be compassionate to yourself. Accept yourself with all the positives and the negatives. Like I said, there's nothing as being perfect. We are just perfect the way we are. We are not perfect with regards to using our resources, but otherwise we are all perfect. All the tools are there with us, given by the universe. Some of the people, they are born with emotional intelligence, so they handle life in a different way. And even the most challenging, rough times of lives are smooth sailing for them. But most of the people are not emotionally intelligent, but that does not mean it cannot be learned. 93% of the people in this world have learned emotional intelligence, and it's only the 7% who are born with their EQ being very strong. Often people look at EQ as something which cannot be learned, but believe me, it can definitely be learned, as we are learning right now. So be very aware about what you choose to learn, what you choose to listen, what you choose to experience, what you choose to see. Because the more you focus on your choices, the more you focus on the clarity with which you want to move ahead in life, easier will be your life. More emotionally intelligent you would turn out to be. The next important aspect with regards to emotional intelligence is be very empathetic. Empathetic, like I said, compassionate to oneself. It's also very important to be very empathetic to the people around us. Understand their feelings, understand their perspectives of life. We all are different, just like the fingerprints. And each one of us come with our own map of the world because we have had our different experiences. We are different human beings, but same emotions. So why not find a way to understand people rather than just have a conflict and judge people? Judging is a culprit. The concept of judging by itself is a negative thought. Try not to judge people. See to it that you are able to look at people and see a new perspective in life that will reduce stress, that will enhance the knowledge, that will make you available to opening your other faculties of the brain, that will make you more adaptable, that will make you more emotionally intelligent. So, very, very important, be empathetic. Listening skills, the next concept, listening skills, very, very important. It's very easy to talk, very easy to give opinions, very difficult to sit patiently and listen. So I guess you all are listening. Listening is very important, and what you listen to is equally, if not more important. Because when we sharpen our listening skills, we are calming our mind and activating that part of the mind which is able to digest the knowledge which is coming through from the person who is speaking. If we are constantly judging, if we are constantly talking, if we are constantly in our own zone of understanding that my world is the right world and what I do is right, we become cocooned with regards to our knowledge, with regards to our exposures, with regards to our upliftment in life. For a person to be empowered, for a person to become emotionally intelligent, listening is very, very important. It's a tool. The next concept, very important again, is about understanding the way we look at life. Now, on this note, I would like to share a small story to all the students here, to all the viewers here. There was once a lady in a village. It was a small village, and she had two daughters. One of the daughters was married to an umbrella maker, and the other daughter was married to a person who makes noodles, the noodles which we eat, the Chinese food. Now, every time, and this lady was always crying. She was called as the crying woman in the world, in the village. That was her world. Crying was her world. And it so happened that once a monk was passing by. He felt sad looking at this lady and also the way she was treated by the people, because nobody likes to be around a person who's constantly weeping. So he asked the lady, "What makes you weep?" She poured out her emotions, telling that when it rains, I'm sad for my daughter who makes noodles, because she will not be able to make the noodles. There will be no sunshine, which could dry, and she will be out of business. She will have to go home. She has to go sleep hungry. And when it is sunshine, I feel sad for my daughter who makes umbrellas, because there will be nobody buying umbrellas from her and she has to go hungry. The monk understood her as perspective of life and told her, will you do what I share with you? She was really very sad. So she said, yes, anything would help. He told her that when it is sunshine, think only about your daughter who makes noodles and be happy for her. And when it rains, think only about your daughter who makes umbrellas and be happy. The lady, it made sense to the lady, and she said, yes, I will try practicing it. She started practicing it, and gradually, from the weeping lady of the village, she became a happy lady. She had practiced this particular small dose of remedy which was given by the monk. After a few days, the monk met her again, and he was very happy to see her happy, be it rain, be it sunshine. So the same way in our life, we have different seasons. It is up to us where we focus on and what we do out of that particular moment. be mindful, be conscious, and you will never be having any time to be sad, any time to be pulled down by negative emotions. Now, this short story is often narrated in most of my sessions. The reason being, we are having the same sunshine, the same rains all the time. But what we do is very important. Similarly, in our relationships, we would be having the same sunshine and the rainfall. Perfect. It can be this particular lesson can be used or be adapted in every area of your life. You students, tomorrow you're going to choose your own area of professions. You're going to choose your own area of work, your area of new relationships. Now, everywhere, use this universal concept. And when you use this universal concept, you will see that you don't make yourself, just yourself happy, you're going to make even your environment happy. Coming to the next aspect, like there are a huge number of things which we can talk about. Now, coming to the next aspect is we are looking at the various things we see in life, the how we perceive them, first thing. Secondly, how we understand them, then how we regulate it into our life and how we function. If these four things are understood, these are like stages. And if you are able to understand this, and if you are able to harness our emotion constructively, it will make us a personality and a behavior which is liked and experienced as positive, not just by ourselves, but by all the people who come into our circle of influence. Many a times there are people who keep radiating negativity and their environment also gets that particular vibe. So this is only because they have not worked on their own emotional intelligence. It is not they are bad people or they are doing something wrong. It's just that they are not aware. They are not channelizing, harnessing, using their emotional intelligence, and they are not able to manage themselves well. That is why their behavior is not very constructive. Their personality is not very constructive. Now, these people often are not very good team players. They don't make very good leaders. So what is it that they are lacking? Simple thing. They are not able to manage their own thoughts well. They are not able to manage or construct their own behavior and personality. And because they are not aware that there is something as emotional intelligence which will help them manage themselves, manage their lives and their teams. Coming to a broad classification, I will just give a quick run through about what emotional intelligence stage-wise covers. There is self-management, managing your own self. That, as I shared, self-acceptance, self-awareness, self-acceptance, and action. Next is self-awareness on a higher level. One is our self-awareness towards ourselves. Higher level is radiating it to others with understanding the environment. The third thing is regulating. I understand that I need to be doing something, but how do I regulate that particular emotion, that understanding, so that my environment also understands it? Communication. Good intra and interpersonal communication. Then comes very important, how you keep yourself motivated. This is self-motivated. Often people listen to so many motivational talks. They are happy for the 1 hour, 2 hours, maybe 2 days, maybe a week. After that, why does it fizzle out? It is because that self-awareness, the self-regulation, the self-management has not been harnessed. It has been an external force which has gone into. But emotional intelligence is an internal force which is activated, which comes into a beingness, which comes into our spirit, which is radiating in every cell of our body. And when that is the case, you become self-motivated. And last but not the least is being very empathetic. Because a person, when he's self-motivated, he will radiate that motivation to all the people around. That is, you try and start pulling other people up into your lives. When we pull up other people, help them grow, we automatically grow. So emotional intelligence is something which is a gift to all of us. Unfortunately, not handled well, not understood well. The whole limitlessness of emotional intelligence is very, very important. Because once we become limitless, once we become exponential with our own strengths, I guess there is no stopping. So students, stay motivated. Not a motivation which comes in for a day or two. It is about self-regulating yourself, managing yourself, being aware about what you are and what your strengths are, and being disciplined along with being empathetic. The best example of empathy I would like to pull in here, supposedly you study something, you understood the concept very well. How do you think you'll remember that concept forever? Simple. Teach it to somebody. Teach it to one of your friend or your peers who's finding a difficulty in that particular aspect. And you will notice that you will never forget. That is what empathy is here with regards to education specifically. So every time you teach something, you are actually reliving your own learnings. You are reinforcing your own learnings. You are re-experiencing your learnings. That means all your modalities, your submodalities are getting activated, and it is getting embedded into your cellular level. Coming to the next important aspect with regards to emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, we all know that it is about our own self, how we handle ourselves, how we look at life, what we do out of what we have currently, and how we make it a pathway to success. On that note, I would like to bring your awareness to how we can use sound to bring in emotional intelligence. Today's topic is emotional intelligence with the power of sound. Now you may wonder, what is sound? I'm speaking, that is a sound. And what is the relevance of sound with emotional intelligence? Now, like I said earlier, the brain is a thought manufacturing machine with 90% of the thoughts, more than 90% of the thoughts, negative. Now, you may wonder then, how do we stop this and how do we make it 100% positive? Of course, we have to be balanced. We have to be realistic and not very overambitious. Definitely, we can make that 90% of that 90% being positive. I hope that sounds good. To do that, we need to be in a state of thoughtlessness. That is, we have to be in a state of zero. No thoughts coming in the mind, because we want to erase it out. Whenever we want to build up something, we need to scrap it out. So we need to scrap it out. To scrap it out, we need to be in a state of theta. We need to be in a state of delta. Now, what is this delta? What is this theta state? That is where sound comes in. All of you must have heard about the hertz, the frequencies, the vibrations. That's exactly what I'm going to talk about. As a doctorate in sound and spiritual sciences, and a researchist in sound and how the brain works, it was found that when certain frequencies are induced in a particular fashion, in a particular combination, the brain goes from a beta state to an alpha state. Now, what is beta state? The current state we are in. You are listening to me. Though we are not interacting, we are very alert. I'm alert speaking. You are alert listening. We are aware about the environment. You know what's happening around. You know you may get thirsty. So all these things, it is in our consciousness. And that is our beta state. The next state, as we relax, we go into an alpha state. Alpha state is a state of meditation, when you are consciously going into a state of sleep. That means you are aware, but you are relaxed. You are sleeping, but you are aware. Next comes in the theta state. The theta state wherein the brain is in a deep state of relaxation. This deep state of relaxation is going to enable you to understand your own body frequencies. What is your zone of frequency? And if it is not in alignment, it is at this state that your self-healing mechanism will start getting activated, and you will be able to bring yourself in alignment to balancing the positives and the negatives. So I hope this brief introduction of power of sound will enable you to understand how you can be emotionally intelligent, how you can erase those aspects of your thoughts and beliefs which no more serves you, which is only been a roadblock, and with this simple technique, which I will be using, you will be going into that state and experiencing it. And every time you would feel that you need to go into the zone of relaxation, there were some frequencies which have already been put up on my YouTube where you can go and visit, or also follow on the Instagram where you will be able to do those processes in short while. Though we will be doing one of a major process right now. So I would request all of you to get set to follow this process of how to be emotionally intelligent with the power of sound. So first, I would request all of you to be very comfortably seated. If you feel your body is a little tight, you can shake it out, move your neck around, move your shoulders, stretch your feet, flex your fingers, and very comfortably sit down in the place you are with your spine erect. Then you place your palms on your thighs facing skywards and take 3 deep breaths. Inhale and gently exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Once more, inhale and exhale. Now continue your smooth breath. Continue with your breath going smooth. Focus on my voice and the sound. As you breathe in and out, setting the intention to release all those emotions which no more serves you. Inhale and gently exhale. Tell yourself, today I choose to release all those emotions which no more serves me. I choose to allow the vibrations to flow in my whole body. Shift your focus to the tip of your toes. Feel the vibrations move in circular motions, enveloping the whole of your feet slowly from the tip of your toes, moving towards your soles. And as both your soles get relaxed, feel the vibration moving upwards to your ankles. As both your ankles are getting relaxed, feel the vibrations move upwards to your calves. As you tell yourself, I choose to let go all the stress and tension that has been accumulated in both my calves. Inhale and gently exhale. Feel the vibration moving upwards to both your knees. Feel the vibration move upwards to your thigh. Each and every muscle of your thighs, the whole of your leg, getting relaxed. Gently inhale and exhale. Feel the calmness in your head. Feel the vibrations move upwards to your groin area, relaxing your bottom. Moving upwards to your abdomen. Tell yourself, I choose to release all the negative emotions which has been hoarded in my abdomen. I choose to relax the whole of my vital organs, the digestive system, the respiratory system, the circulatory system, the immune system, my endocrine system, each and every part and cell of my body. I choose to relax. The more I relax my body, more is the vibration which flows in every cell. As your breath gets smooth, feel the relaxation moving upwards to your chest. Your breath becoming smoother and deeper. At this point of time, tell yourself, I choose to release all those emotions which no more serves me. It may have served me in the past, but now with my awareness, I choose to regulate it and I choose to release it. Feel your breath now being deeper and fuller. Feel the vibrations in your spine moving up and down. Visualize yourself communicating with empathy, compassion, and acceptance of your strengths and weaknesses. Accepting yourself the way you are, and that is the perfect you. Tell yourself, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm lovable, and I'm harmonious. I live with full faith and trust in the universe. I understand the powers I hold. I am limitless. I am perfect the way I am. I accept myself unconditionally. The world is perfect the way it has to be. I focus on my inner circle, and my inner circle grows and becomes the outer circle of my world. Gently inhale and exhale. Feel your breath getting smooth and your mind relaxed. Visualize the clarity that you now feel and see. Tell yourself, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm harmonious, and I'm lovable. I'm perfect the way I am. I accept myself unconditionally, and I open myself to new knowledge, to new wisdom, which will empower me. Gently inhale and exhale. Feel the vibrations flow in your whole body as you shift your focus to your center of the eyebrows. From there, feel the pulsating sensation awakening your inner light, awakening you to your own emotional intelligence. Quieten the mind and redesign your thinking. This will lay the blueprint for your future, making you emotionally intelligence, adaptability intelligence, your IQ, that is your intellect quotient, also growing and boosting your personality. At this point of time, visualize the best version of yourself. Gently inhale and exhale. See yourself standing in front of you, your best version standing in front of you, with all those qualities that you were seeking in you, standing right in front of you. And as you see this figure, which is you, the best version of you, take a deep breath in and gently breathe out with a sense of non-judgment. Accept that being in front of you into your own beingness. Allow this merger to be there with you, this sense of achievement to be there with you, which will help you gain the confidence in all your exams, confidence in all that you do henceforth. Tell yourself, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm lovable, I'm harmonious. Now, with the best version of you merged with you, your physical being, look at your new life. Look at your pathways opening up with more awareness, acceptance, and with the right action. What are those action steps that you need to be taking now on to help you reach your goals? Now that all those negative aspects no more holds good, feel light and happy. With a clear mind, look at those action steps which you can take to achieve your goals in life. Have those steps run through in your head. Be aware of each and every step. Look at the details of every step which comes up and how you will be taking them up. Gently inhale and exhale. You may now gently open your eyes when you're ready. And once you open your eyes, write down those action steps. Write down all those things which came up right now in this sound meditation and work upon them, which will enable you to move ahead in life with more structured analysis of everything you do and being happy at every step, being emotionally intelligent, being a person who is happy and successful. On that note, I would request all of you to slowly open your eyes and start writing all those action steps which came up just now to help you reach your goals. On that note, stay happy and stay successful. You are limitless. Humans, we are all limitless. Be resourceful and stay focused on the positives. On that note, thank you so much and bye for now.